Welcome back to another video. It's pretty fun to have kind of a fluid set to keep filming on, consistent lighting, audio. I never really had this before, so it's been kind of fun to cultivate ideas and then sit down and actually make the content. And then obviously because I'm working out here too, things are always evolving, changing, and therefore it's a little bit organic, kind of fun. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about the A8 transmission. It was in tons of GM vehicles and it's been a huge point of controversy. I still see almost daily on multiple Camaro Facebook pages and videos and different things, people griping and complaining and asking questions. And it's pretty crazy to me that after years, it's been 4 or 5 years now, that this has been a known issue with a very simple resolution, that it's still a topic of conversation and people are still considering not buying specific vehicles or trims or different things because of the transmission issue. It was an issue, not a problem. The transmissions did not blow up. They did not detonate and exit the vehicle. The GT350s were lighting on fire. Like the old North Stars that were just horribly unreliable, and the Cadillacs. I mean, every brand has had a slew of issues over the years. And the A8 transmission came out as, I feel like it was a transition period transmission, even though GM would never admit it, because when it came out, it was like, this is it. This is the new fast automatic and whatever. But it really wasn't their transmission. It was like a stepping stone. And what I mean by that is the A10 came out, which they co-developed with Ford, and it is like 10 times the transmission. It's got bigger power ranges, bigger power hold. It will take more power, and it didn't have almost any issues that I know of. I definitely could be wrong on that, but none that I know of. And I'm pretty up to date on a lot of the Camaro stuff. So if you were shopping for a Camaro, a pickup truck, or an SUV that had a V8 with the 8-speed automatic transmission, there is the likelihood that you had a transmission shudder problem. This was not all the time and under every circumstance. It was when cylinder deactivation started. I have no issues with cylinder deactivation. I've enjoyed the fuel economy. Like, there's really no negatives other than the fact that there's a few more moving parts and a few things do things. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to saving fuel. I would prefer that over the engine start stop at every single light. But it's all personal preference, and where you win in one department, you lose in another. So they have this issue where you're cruising down the road and it starts shaking. It doesn't, like, the vehicle doesn't become violent. It doesn't become out of control or anything. It's just, it almost feels like you're hitting rumble strips. You're just kind of like, wow, that's a motion I'm not used to. So it wasn't the end of the world, but it was definitely inconvenient. It was definitely noticeable. And if I had a choice, it would 100% not be there. So fast forward to now. I've had the car for 6 years. We've put 100 and something thousand kilometers on it. I 100% had the transmission problem. They flushed it. It was a full service bulletin, not that big of a deal. I know it's an expensive thing to pay for out of pocket, but to have them do it as a free service bulletin was not a big deal. I dropped the car off in the morning and picked it up in the evening, and the car has been rock solid ever since. If I picked up any vehicle by GM with an 8-speed transmission, be a truck, SUV, whatever, or another Camaro, and I pulled up the records at a dealership and it showed that it had been done, I would have zero hesitation picking that vehicle up or being concerned about the transmission problems. And again, I've put tons of mileage on it, towing, racing, driving, winter, summer, spring, fall, like every season, every weather, everything. And the transmission has been one of the best, most rock solid parts of the car. That being said, if I could pick, I would have put the 10-speed in. From my understanding, it has a more of a notchy, better built feeling when you're doing manual mode shifting, and it is faster on the downshifts by miles. But that being said, for cruising around, my transmission works great. It's nice and comfortable. Getting on the highway when it drops cylinders or doesn't drop cylinders, it's nice and smooth. When I'm at the drag strip or the racetrack and you're hauling into it, it shifts so fast, it's almost hard to believe. I mean, it really does everything you would want, or in your head, if you were to, like, if I could pick a transmission, I want it to be smooth, reliable, fast on the track, like blah, 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 blah. I don't care. It's slower than the hubs of hell to shift while I'm doing 40 kilometers an hour through a school zone. I don't care. To downshift and it take 9 seconds just doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not in a hurry. I'm cruising. But I know there was all of these preconceived notions, and YouTube reviewers were like, it's not PDK, it's not this, it's not that. Like, it isn't. This is not a $275,000 car. This is a $50,000 fun to drive 2-door coupe with a big engine that likes to make lots of noise, and it does a pretty good job at that. So again, the criticism was a little bit unjust, but I mean, always be critical, because if had it have not have happened, maybe GM would have been slower getting a recall or admitting there was an issue and getting that solved. Like, there's all kinds of snowball effect of not taking action, but I just wouldn't let it affect my purchasing decisions, and I haven't really let it affect my overall enjoyment or happiness of my automobile. It is what it is. There's always problems. I have other issues with the car that are more important and self-induced. Not that I would ever do that. That's it. Transmission updates. All is good. Everybody's happy. Till next time, drive safe, take care, and behave, as always.